Patricia O'Connor and Frida Reba Darcy here today on the Bonsai Balcony. We're loving life. It is a really nice, cool evening in Alameda, California. A little bit of breeze blowing. You can see the trees moving in the background just a little bit. The pool's rocking, which is pretty okay for a Wednesday. Everybody's been watered. Everybody's just kind of looking all green and lush and resting comfortably. Today's show will be about feeding. I'm going to mention my fertilizer of choice, but I'm not getting kickbacks from those guys. I just had a difficult time figuring out what fertilizer I was supposed to be using originally, and now that I know what it is I want to do, I don't mind telling other people if they have questions as to what works and what doesn't. I did a couple of things I don't normally like to do. One, I allowed myself to run completely out of BioGold. That's the fertilizer that I tend to use. Little chunks that are kind of like little triangular shaped cubes. And I've heard fertilizer described as like pedals on a car. One of them is the accelerator, and the other is the brake. And one of them has to do with how much, and the other has to do with how often. And the method, I remember that I forgot something. The method that I've had proposed to me that works well, and I've seen it in this is soapy water. I'm putting soapy water on these maples. Not to change the subject, but I'm putting soapy water on these maples because I know I watered the leaves earlier today when I watered the trees. Anyway, back to food. This is BioGold. It's breaking down. It's also why this moss is so thick and fluffy and rising up. But it's also why this moss has these burned valleys in it. That's where I push BioGold down there. And it, I guess it burned it in direct concentration. I don't know. It's not that strong. But early on, I shied away from fertilizing my bonsai trees because I was worried about them extending too long. You know, like if this guy were to double its length right here, there wouldn't be a whole lot I could do about that. It's already got bark. We're going to have a hard time getting anything to sprout down there, and the longer it gets up here, the less it's going to happen down there. So, you know, I'm kind of worried about stretching is what that would be referred to. And for that reason, I just kind of wanted to learn a little bit more about it before I started feeding. And then when it came to these guys, and when I mean these guys, I'm now looking at our wisteria. I would say that I looked at videos that says how to get your wisterias to bloom, and people would talk about the pan of water method. You can see that wisteria is sitting in a pie tin of water. And they would also mention fertilizers and not fertilizing their wisterias, and I believe, if memory serves, they were talking about nitrogen, I think, being something that would come up in a concentration that you didn't want to up if you were into making, for instance, your wisterias bloom. I don't know that that's even true, but the way around that, even if it was, would be to go with the before mentioned fertilizer. There's usually 3 numbers that you'll see on the front of most fertilizers, and it'll tell you the percentage of the required main 3 ingredients. And those numbers can be single digits by themselves. Those 3 numbers can be 2 digits, 2 digits, and 2 digits, or they can be 1 digit. And when it comes to BioGold, it is 555, and that means that it is not going to have too much of anything that would cause a tree to stretch, and it's also not going to have anything that would cause a wisteria to not bloom. It's not going to have too much of something that would cause a wisteria to not bloom. So the method there is that we are feeding a little, a lot of the time. So when it comes to the gas pedal, we are giving the tree a dose. Most trees get a dose constantly. The ponderosa there, that's in development, won't see a time this year where I'm not feeding it. The coastal oak that's in development also will get fed year round. My pine trees that are not in bonsai pots, my Japanese black pines that aren't in bonsai pots, they will get fed year round. Quick reminder, if I look at this tray, you may notice slight yellowing. I think that is a sign that these guys are wanting more BioGold. It's on its way. I said I did 2 things today I don't like that I don't normally do. One of them is I ran out of BioGold without reordering. The other is I ordered it from a very large source and not a mom and pop. I would have ordered it mom and pop, but my mom and pop source was currently out. So I held back. I'm just kind of looking out over. Now the idea is behind the fertilizer is it is a low dose fertilizer. I'll show you a couple of these granules. These are some of the last ones this guy got, and they're kind of triangular shaped lumps. And 3 of these in the palm of your hand would be a dose, and in a 4-inch square area we would apply a dose, and then in the next 4-inch square area we would apply a dose, another dose, and then 2 more back there in the back. And that's kind of the rhyme and reason to the amount of fertilizer that these guys get constantly. If you'll notice, there's no BioGold here. We did our candles, and now we're getting a flush of predictable new buds where we just cut our candles. And as a part of that, because this tree does have its roots restricted in the bonsai pot, we're not feeding it until fall. Not so with our cypress trees that are in development. It gets fed year round. Our ponderosas that we're trying to make our needle short right now, we're feeding them year round. Same with our maples. These guys, like I stated earlier, you'll see BioGold sitting in some others. It's already maybe a little past its prime. And those guys are starting to show just a slight bit of yellowing. And the way around that is when the BioGold gets in, it's been ordered. The other thing, like I said, that I did that I don't normally like to do is I ordered it from Amazon instead of getting it from our mom and pop vendor. I'm always all about, whenever possible, making sure that that personally owned business gets enough business to keep its business going. That's how you support your local community. That's how you keep money in your community. That's how you support the other people who, that's how I support the other people who help bring bonsai to me. And there's more to it than just maybe the club you belong to or the YouTube pages. There's also the local vendors and stuff for which you will need supplies. It's good that these guys are in there. It's good that you can go to Amazon if you live way out somewhere, but it's also good to try to throw some business towards the mom and pops because they're out there and they need their support too. So we've covered the as you can see, like this is a Japanese black pine. It is in a bonsai pot. We will be making the needle short, no food. This is a ponderosa. It needs food. That's a ponderosa. It's got food and will need more. Those are mostly little Japanese black pine. Those are guys for whom the candles have all been done. They will not get fed. This guy is not having its candles done, haven't had its candles done last year. It's getting food and it will continue to do so. Mostly all of but one of those guys, I believe, is, and I'm pointing to these little trees in between the cypress fronds. Those are all ponderosas. They either are or should be also getting fed. The point in young ponderosas, potted in bonsai pots or not, is to make them produce more and more and more and more needles until they can't possibly keep them as long as they've been making them. And then at that point, we cut back. Quick side note, be a great time to remove, wow, what happened? Be a great time to remove, why did that screen just go like that? I hope it didn't do that. It'd be a great time to remove this wire because it's starting to bite in. My screen just went black. I don't know if it went black in the video or not, but we were just about covered. We were just about covered our details here. Like and subscribe if you guys have not already. I can't see what's going on. I'm taking the wire off of this. Actually, I'm not going to take it all the way off. I'm going to reapply it in different tracks where it's not biting in here. I appreciate you, and Frida appreciates you. I touched the screen to try to get it to focus, and it went really mysteriously dark. Don't know why. Our next drop will be tonight. I think I'm going to bring in a small ponderosa and we're going to do some work to it. And after that, our next drop will be this weekend when we get up to the usual stuff we get up to. I'm going to go back and look at this. And if it's as black as I see, we're going to redo this video. I think this is totally redoable. Thank you so much for watching.